Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises to our Paul, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, Makal Kodash. Call Paul, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, Makal Kodash. As the nation Hebrew say now praises to Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Yahweh is the correct name for the God of the Bible, the world ignorantly call Jehovah, God, or Yahweh. His son's true name in the Hebrew is Yahushai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. The true name for the God of the Bible in the Hebrew is Yahweh. His son's true name in the Hebrew is Yahushai. I want to give the honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And shalom to all the brothers and out there pushing this word in sincerity and in truth. To all that believe in this gospel. Shalom. Brother Zach from Camp James, Jamaica, and this lesson also me entitled it, with a question. Who is behind those so-called UFOs or orbs, being seen mainly over America, but also over Russia, the so-called Middle East, and also being seen in Europe and all over the world, really. Who is behind them, what's going on. It's a topic that us, our brothers and the elders and apostles, and been going through over and over and over, but now they're actually popping up and making the news. People being concerned to the point where Esau, the so-called white race, is trying to control the narrative. Telling you, oh, these are drones and whatever. And then change from UFO to UAPs to now drones. I know this being called orbs or orbs. But they're actually the chariots. It's written in the scriptures, the chariots of Israel, the chariots of the Most High, where they're actually angels flying these crafts. Dam Lazulin gonna bring that out in the scriptures, and this being edifying unto the elect out there, because so-called UFOs are being mentioned in the scriptures. Other people based upon what they must see are going back to the description also in Ezekiel, the first chapter, which is a good reference because that's exactly what Ezekiel saw, and he gave the description, and people see it today, and they might reflect back onto what account Ezekiel had, So this is Psalm 68 and 17. It says, the chariots of Yahweh are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them as in Sinai in the holy place. And which I'm not going to get it really, but the cloud, let's see if we can just get it actually, that led us out of Egypt, it's referred, was actually a chariot. It was describing a chariot, so-called UFO. The cloud that came down on Mount Sinai, to a fire and all of that. It was actually describing also a so-called UFO. Because even the lights coming off it and so forth, people just give description or them couldn't describe it. Some say flying roll, some say flying saucer, some say wheel within a wheel, some say fire, shooting star, whatever. Because there's a thing called descriptive description or descriptive writing, if you have it in records, wherein you can only reference things to your understanding or things that you would refer it to. Alright? But let's see. I'm gonna go to, let's see if we can get it real quick. Go to not Ezekiel, Exodus. Let me get Ezekiel as well. Alright, this is Exodus 13 and 21. It says, and the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, to go by day and night. And he took not away the pillar of the cloud by day, nor the pillar of fire by night from before the people. And so basically, this is a big so-called UFO, or big gigantic, chariot or flying aircraft, actually covering Israel during the day, for give them shade, because they know what hundreds and thousands of people are march out of Israel, march out of Egypt, you know. And then during the night now, while they were walking, the chariot actually provided light. That's I'm not gonna get it, but even with what is his name, Paul, before it was Saul, when him there go to Damascus, they tell us, say, yo, there was a bright light come past him, you know, and basically get knocked off by Mars and so forth. So it actually shows that the lights from the chariots or from these crafts are actually bright. That's why them could basically provide light during the day. I'm sorry, light during the night, for the whole camp, and basically a shade during the day, right, for the whole camp. And it did actually tell something specific as well, that that this were no literal cloud, which the chariots at times they disguise as clouds when we go to, as I've seen that literally, and I had a witness with me as well. The first I was seeing it, to the point where somebody would know nothing about UFO. When them see it, them actually words, shut up, like the heck, what is that? Cause it basically defy any other thing in the sky that you could think of, and you literally fly with the cloud until the cloud bright up, and then you left the cloud and all of that, and it shape out and the speed way to go at. Remember one time even I was with the brother Yawahala, and he was with a family member, and I was the one that the sky me touch him and show him, what did I look funny, and him say, oh, it's a satellite, and the chariot just said so and bright up in the sky, you see me, and him just go down back and disappear, no more satellite. Like, I want that, yeah. So the chariots are actually showing, they're doing things, as basically they will move from one speed to the another way. Nothing in the ESA or this current era would not have technology like that, yes. So, and so-called defy the laws of physics, because they're not bound by this dimension, this third dimension that we're in. They're spiritual crafts. This is Psalms 104 and 3. It says, who laid the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the winds of the wind. Yes, so the clouds at times it basically chariots them, appear to be like clouds here, them basically disguise themselves, because sometimes they hide, sometimes they show themselves. People will say chariots like a shoot out of a cloud, hide back behind a cloud, and a lot of things here. So when he said cloud there, it was actually referring to a chariot. It just described it as a cloud during the day. And it says this as well, which let me just get it. Exodus 14 and 19. It says, and the angel of God, which is, if we can receive it, would be Awashai, which went before the camp of Israel, removed and went behind them. So that was in a chariot, and at first he was basically in front of them, leading them the way, and then he was basically removed. Like let's think about it, a flying craft, it's basically sure say it couldn't even be a literal cloud, because it was in front of them and then just basically go behind them. Alright, and which went before the camp of Israel, moved and went behind them, and the pillar of the cloud went from before their faces and stood behind them. So basically top behind them. It says, and it came between the camp of the Egyptians and the camp of Israel, and it was a cloud and darkness to them, but it gave light by night to these, so that the one came not near the other all the night. So basically I wish I put on a border here. The chart basically put a border, one of darkness. I think at one point it basically say shoot beams off of them or something like that. Here, skipping down to 24, verse 24, says, and it came to pass that in the morning watch the Lord looked unto the host of the Egyptians through the pillar of fire and of the cloud, and troubled the host of the Egyptians, and took off their chariot wheels, that they drave them heavily, so that the Egyptians said, let us flee from the face of Israel, for the Lord fighteth for them against the Egyptians. So basically, it show you I think even Habakkuk there say the chariots basically shoot out beams referring to. In today's era we don't call it concentrated fire. You know, like you watch movie like Independence Day, 1 and 2, War of the Worlds, them actually show you these things. Because there's pilots, Esau, we being the so-called white race, there's records of them all over. A lot of people seen them, and now today people have smartphone, everybody a record and upload to the internet. So now them even broadcast more, but even Pentagon, and NASA basically research, and the US government from years, when them see these things, happening, right, or appearing, should I say. So it shows you the cloud now refer to a literal cloud, it's actually referring to a chariot, and I'm going to basically bring forth 2 examples also in the scripture, show you what these chariots are like. So this is Second Kings 2. I'll go to the point. If you really can read if you want. Basically Elijah was basically being taken up, right? And Elisha there walk with him. Alright, so I'm gonna start at verse 2 Kings 2. Main point 11. It says, and it came to pass when they were gone over that Elijah said unto Elisha, ask what I shall do for thee before I be taken away from thee. And Elisha said, I pray thee, let a double portion of thy spirit be upon me. And he said, thou hast asked a hard thing. Nevertheless, if thou see me when I am taken from thee, it shall be so unto thee, but if not, it shall not be so. And it came to pass, as they still went on and talked, that, behold, there appeared a chariot out of fire, and horses of fire, and parted them both asunder. So it's just like one with the children of Israel, and the Egyptian just all take place with Paul, right? Chariot appear, one upon one side, one upon the other side, chariot between them, because even different sides, and they can even shapeshift of that. It says, and horses of fire, and parted them both asunder. And Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven. So he even referred to it as a whirlwind. Whirlwind is something will go around and around. Them just describe how them can describe it. It says, and Elisha saw it, and he cried, my father, the chariot of Israel, and the horsemen thereof. And he saw him no more, and he took hold of his own clothes and rent them in 2 pieces. So this is Elisha, when Elijah was basically beamed up, so to speak, by the chariot. Elisha saw it and said, the chariot of Israel, but he referred to it as a whirlwind. When you see them Batman, just as though every time people see them, people gaze up in the sky, because it's basically literally out of this world. You see something, astonishing. This is Acts chapter 1 and 9. It says, and when he referring to Yahushai, had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. So the cloud is actually referring to a chariot. Chariot come, beam up Yahushai, and they basically look on him and look on everything what happened. It says, and while they looked steadfastly toward heaven, as he went up, behold, 2 men stood by them in white apparel, which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yahushai, which we really know called Jesus Christ, his true name is Yahushai, it's in the Paleo Hebrew, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. So just as how Yahushua was taken up, by the cloud, which is a chariot, the same return. When we go to the prophecy, in the book of Revelation 1 and 7, it says, behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so a man. So the cloud them come back with is basically the chariot. It's just all over the scriptures, different prophets seeing it, and basically calling it, to based on for them vocabulary, right? Describe it with their vocabulary. I'm gonna get this as well in Isaiah. Isaiah 66 and 15. It says, "For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire." Right, so Yahweh is coming back in the chariot here, so-called UFO. Whirlwind, they will call it whirlwind, they want to call it orbs, they want to call it cloud, want to call it flying saucer, wheel within a wheel. It's the same thing. It's basically chariots of Israel, or chariots of heaven. It's another account. This is Kings, 2 Kings 6, start at 12. It says, "And one of his servants said, None, my lord." I think is referring to King of Israel, yes. Wait. And the kings of Israel sent, King of Israel. I'm not sure who was the king at this point, I don't remember. But that's besides the point. It says, "And one of his servants said, None, my lord, O king, but Elisha, the prophet that is in Israel, telleth the king of Israel the words that thou speakest in thy bedchamber. And he said, Go and spy where he is, that I may send and fetch him. And it was told him, saying, Behold, he is in Dothan. Therefore sent he thither horses and chariots and a great host. And they came by night and compassed the city about. And when the servant of the man of God was risen early and gone forth, behold, an host compassed the city, both with horses and chariots." That's literally ancient, horse with chariot, look at something with the horse and drag. Alright? It says, "And his servant said unto him, Alas, my master, how shall we do? And he answered, Fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes, that he may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. So basically, the whole sky, the blackout, you be a chariots up there, but them just couldn't see, because they hide. But when the Most High opened the servant's eye, you couldn't see them too. Right, so sometimes they reveal themselves, sometimes they don't, but they're actually they are the chariots, they're the angels. And people so-called Christians, right, if you're supposed to believe in a UFO or pre-creation story, right, the Most High said Him create the heaven and the earth, right, and basically men, was basically here on earth. He never tasted Him create a planet where no sophisticated beings would be. Right, so where are these crafts coming from? If them really exist, obviously them exist now to the point where the Pentagon have to acknowledge them. They're actually the angels them flying them, Or them get referred in the Bible. Them pick up Yahweh, them pick up Elijah. Them being mentioned in all over the scriptures. Let's get this account now in the book of Ezekiel, which a lot of people is actually giving reference. This is Ezekiel 1, and I'm going to start at verse 4. "And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north." So a whirlwind is basically a chariot. It has a spin round and round and round. So them look when you see them close. Right? It says, came out of the north a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself. So it's like a fire spin round it with like a wheel. They might try to describe it, It says, "And a fire enfolding itself, and a brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire, Also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of four living creatures, and this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man, and every one had four faces, and every one had four wings, and their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot, and they sparkled like the color of burnished brass. So I'm gonna tell you, basically you see angels come out of the calf, yeah? And I'm gonna describe them. You look like a man and them black, so-called black, because the connotation today where them have as black hair. People is a dark shade of brown, yeah? Right? It says, and they had the hands of a man under their wings, under their four sides, and they four had their faces and their wings. Their wings were joined one to another. They turned not when they went. They went every one straight forward. So it's like they don't even turn around like me, they just move in the other direction whenever they need to move. Because again, they're not bound by the laws of this third dimension, yeah? Actually from the fourth dimension. What it happened? Me no know. I'm not from the fourth dimension like that, so I don't know. Alright, but did I tell you? See if we can go down to the chariots. Alright, 13. It says, as for the likeness of the living creatures, their appearance was like burning coals of fire, and like the appearance of lamps. It went up and down among the living creatures, and the fire was bright. Out of the fire went forth lightning. So it's like basically I see all lights are flash all over the place. Yeah? It says, and the living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of a flashing of lightnings. You know, like flash. When they move here, they move fast. And it's like light. I move from them, eh? And again, they are not from this world, literally. Let me see. Verse 15, it says, now as I beheld the living creatures, behold, one wheel upon the earth, one wheel upon the earth by the living creatures, which is four faces. The appearance of the wheels at their work was like unto the color of beryl. You know, and that's something I looked up here. The color of beryl is like a greenish, bluish looking color. Alright, and even the harvest them you can see, like even the repository, re-upload one, and then that's literally how it look. In the movie Independence Day, when them go on the chariot and actually look up in it, same color, because they actually seen these crafts here, and I give report, and these records of the scriptures, and even ancient report as well. You see, that's why Scripture said they were wiser than Daniel. There's no secret thou can hid from him. Climb off camera all over the place, I'm bring satellite them, you know, pick up things. Alright, it says the appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of a beryl, and they four had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. A wheel within the middle of a wheel. So once in a ground and the other one a ground. So it says, when they went upon their four sides, and they turned not when they went. As for their rings, they were so high that they were dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes round about them four. So it's like, I remember it's like a window, you can see through them. Alright? So this is the prophet, you know, basically Ezekiel, right, describing UFO MC, or spiritual craft. It's get written in the scriptures for a reason. So when them even pop up in these days, we can actually identify them and say, hey, this is actually, you know, also written in the scriptures. We know what they are. You know, to the world they are UFOs, but to I they are identifying flying objects. We know what they are. They are the chariots, yeah, and they are the same one that's going to return, you know, and basically wage war upon Esau. Right now they are taking records. As when we go to Zechariah. This is Zechariah 5. Zechariah 5:1. Then I turned and lift up mine eyes, and looked, and behold, a flying roll. So him see it and him describe like a flying roll, a circle or something. And some of them shape can shape shift, them have different shape. As remember, well, opposite there, before to chariots will look like a cigar. And like cigar, damn, information come out, me see them pop up too. Alright? It says, and he said unto me, what seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. Then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it. And it says, I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof, and the stones thereof. And that's referring to Esau, the biggest thief on the face of the earth right now is Esau. He thief everything he ever have. When them basically come over here, especially during the 1400s, 1500s, right? Rape, ravage, steal, murder, all of those things, eh? That's how he got the world. It was by violence, by theft. Alright? So the chariots actually here taking notes what take place to the eyes of the Lord upon the sinful kingdom, but to destroy it. Right, that's why I see them pop up so much in America, and the major place that are basically being seen, is in America. Right? Why? Because again, to fulfill prophecies. Right? And let's get this real quick as well. Zechariah 6:1, it says, and I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, there came 4 chariots out from between 2 mountains, that and the mountains were mountains of brass. The mountain of brass. Later they say, on a literal mountain, is a chariot him see, one rotted one, just as how when Esdras saw the chariot, him refer to it as a mount where big him know he can't see start and where end. So it's say all high level see how shy when him return. With the chariots here, I'll have the big chariot. And then you have other chariots. The scripture said the Moses send his angels to deliver basically the elect from the 4 corners of the earth. So you have smaller chariots. So it's over here in Zechariah the 6th chapter, tell about 2 mountains where 2 big chariots, and then out of them chariot they have some other smaller craft coming out. Right? Just as how Esau show in the movies, it's just that Esau can't shoot down none, and none of them never crashed before, and Esau now have no peace and none. That's a lie. Because these crafts here, they're angels flying them. They're out of this world, and they're about to destroy Esau's world. Esau referring to the so-called white race, starting with their elites. So hope this is edifying until you look out there, giving our praise to our power, how about Shemi Shaiba, Shemi Kakadash, the abundance unto elders and apostles of great millstone. Shalom to the full. Shalom.